Ladies and gentlemen, turn your speakers up. It's time for the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Turn up the bass. A podcast discussing all things AEW and WWE. Oh yeah! Let's meet the hosts. First, a man hailing from the hub city in Indiana. He goes by @TooSweetKyle on Twitter. The host, Kyle Gagliardi. And your co-host, hailing from the valley of Lake Tahoe. He goes by @JimTuck89 on Twitter. Jim Tucker. And last but not least, hailing from the cornfield somewhere in Indiana, the full-time part-timer, Ian Garavaglia. Turn up the bass. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram @PodOnTheMark.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Mr. OTM Kyle Gagliardi. And joining me this evening is my good friend Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Tucky!
What's going on, Kyle? Kicking it old school, just you and I, the OG2. The original OTC, original two co-hosts.
It kind of works.
It works.
I don't think we'll be able to print that merch though. That probably would get copyrighted.
C's, well, OTCs,
the
original two co-hosts. So then we just do a small S on the bottom, maybe blend it into the Samoan type graphic. The OTCs in the HOUSE. What do you know?
What it do, baby? We're popping large here. Oh, yeah. The day after Christmas. The grind doesn't stop here at OTM. We did consider taking the week off, but Tuck, I really didn't have anything going on, and there's a pay-per-view this weekend, I guess.
Fuck it, why not? When in Rome, do as the Romans do, and Rome would be Nothingville for you and I on this particular evening. Thursday after Christmas, in a lull on the way to New Year's Eve. You got any plans?
Not for New Year's Eve, man. Just
nothing set in stone.
Laying low with the family, I think. It's in the middle of the week. It's tough. What about you?
Weird. Yeah, random, local family friends at a house kind of thing. We'll have a couple beers, midnight, get a smooch from the old lady, and then head on home. And that's it, Probably home by 12:15, 12:30. We'll see you.
I was going to say, if I even make it to midnight, that would be surprising in itself, Tuck, because I've gotten to that age, man, where if I have one rough night, like on Christmas Eve, we go at it hard at the Gagliardi party. I last night went to bed at 9:00.
Well, here's the thing, dude. We're not getting old. We're getting better at balancing the acute feeling of what tomorrow will feel like if we have a few too many, way too many, or what it could feel like if we have just enough, right? Just enough. Get floaty up there. Hey, vibing.
That's where I struggle.
But when you have a Christmas Eve at the Gagliardi house, as one will. 9 p.m. bedtime is like my standard, so welcome to the show.
Yeah, usually I can make it to at least 11:00, but last night it wasn't one of those nights. And I mean, holiday season, a lot of stuff going on, crappy football on TV. Nobody was watching the NBA because nobody cares about the NBA, but we still had wrestling on. Like NXT actually had a good show on Tuesday. I don't know if you got the chance to see it, and I thought AEW Dynamite last night was a good show as well, but you probably didn't watch either.
No, dude. This was my first Christmas as a dad. So I specifically found out what that means. I put together a cozy coupe car, put together a giraffe basketball hoop soccer goal combo.
I like that.
Unwrapped. So I'll play a game with you quick. Augie, I got Augie some wrestling figures. He's getting basics until he can respect the trade. So Ringside Collectibles, I picked up 5. Again, 5 good deals, cheap, not like my 5 All-Stars, whatever. He got Gunther, LA Knight, Stone Cold, The Rock, and Seth Rollins.
That's not
and then
bad.
he got a 12-inch Cody Rhodes stuffed like wrestling buddy. Which of those 5 did he crawl to? Because we laid them all out in a line, and he basically established his starter character. You know what I mean?
I think it's got to be just because, of his uncle that has the same hairstyle, and he also lives by this man. I'm going to go with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He did not. He picked Seth freaking Rollins. So that's a pick that he can grow into. You know what I mean? Hopefully Seth Rollins still has plenty plus years on his career. And so he also got a Carmella, because I had a dupe of Carmella. At one time, as of yesterday, I owned 3 Carmella figures, 1 signed and 2. I think one of them was thrown into a random order because it was like a really crunchy box. And he got an Edge. I had doubles of Edge. So it was a good Christmas. And Tucky got a new truck. So that was my Christmas present. I have a vehicle that drives, and the transmission isn't fucking with me. And it's got it's got 4-wheel drive. It's a Tacoma. If heaven is anywhere, it is not like Kubaki said, in a bluish Tacoma. It is a blackish Tacoma.
That's black.
It is underground. It's dark gray. So in the sunlight, it is like a dark gray, and it looks pretty cool. So
I get that with mine. People say it's white. People say it's gray. It's space gray. It's the in between ground right there. It's a new color. I don't know, but hey, the chat's popping off right now.
We're heading into 20. Absolutely, we're heading into 2025. We got new whips. We got new opportunities to add to the naughty and nice list.
This is true.
Santa, and we got an AEW show in a few days. Life is good. Robbie Collins. Yo, guys, hope you're all well. Can't stick around, but what a 2024 for you guys. Seeing all your development has been amazing to watch. Love you all, and here's to 2025. Gags, I'm going to read your mind because I think we're going to be on the same page here. I think Robbie deserves a little bit of credit. He sent praise our way, but we are nothing without people like him. Nominee for MVM of the Year, following back with another MVM of the Year nominee, the Great Brown Hope, Tuck Nasty, making big moves. Mr. Not thrilled about it. She almost got cold feet and didn't want to buy the truck. I would have been big mad. Gags, your turn.
No, I was just gonna say the usual suspects are in the chat, which we appreciate that, guys. So if you are watching live right now, we got 21 of you watching live, preferably on YouTube is the destination of choice for us. So if you are watching on YouTube, guys, we are currently 30 subscribers away from the infamous number 400, which we got a little giveaway. Tuck, I think you're going to show it off too, aren't you?
Dum 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 dum. Actually, the music should be booyaka booyaka 619.
It's Rey Mysterio, guys. If you're listening to this at a later date, you obviously can't see it, but Tuck is showing it off. It's certified, it's signed, and we will give that away if we get to 400 subscribers, which we're making our way there, Tuck, slowly but surely.
We're making our way downtown. Walking fast. Faces fat. Pass, and
Subscribe.
I'm homebound.
And
subscribe to at Potty on the Mark on YouTube and get into the raffle.
We'll leave the karaoke party to Tim Vicious. I know, Tim Vicious has a karaoke party going on every Friday. Also, Dirk Vogus in the house, which for the very first time in this show's history, guys, we did something that big time players do. We did our own cameo, I guess you could say. Yeah. Because Vogus is saying, I just wanted to say that was the most awesome way to get a Christmas present ever. Thanks for being a part of it. I cannot wait. If you guys did not know, we are going to the Royal Rumble, and Ryan Vogus, Dirk's son, one of the greatest MVMs, if not the greatest MVM of all time, gifted him Royal Rumble tickets, and he asked us to kind of just do a cameo type video. We sat down after the show last week, re-recorded something from Dirk, and glad to hear that he got his gift. And he's
I'm surprised I didn't give that away. I did not know that was a Christmas present, but I did know parties involved in the purchase of those Rumble tickets, as I was hoping and considering the purchase. Shout out to all parties involved. So that would be the OTM crew, Vogus, Dirk Vogus, for no selling my name botch at the end. I love you, Dirk. Yikes.
Yeah, it's all right. Wasn't our
Hey,
finest moment, but I thought we did well.
one take though, it was a 9 out of 10.
Not a lot of people can do it in one take,
No.
and we do that every single week, by the way, because we are live. We
We
fucked
are
up,
the one take kids.
and we acknowledge it. But hey,
Oh, yeah.
speaking of acknowledging, you can acknowledge us by heading on over to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.com. You see that tapestry behind me? You see this very comfortable OTM hoodie I'm wearing? You too can get yourself some late Christmas gifts by going to our website there. All the proceeds go directly back into the production of this show. And also, don't forget to give our friends over at the Main Event Wrestling Network a follow at mainevent_net on all the socials. I don't know if TikTok is actually going away this time. I hope it's not, but we got a pretty large following over there, Tuck. I think we got about 1,400 followers on TikTok.
What does that mean, going away?
I think it's being banned from the United States.
Huh.
Right?
Do I live on sometimes I feel like I live under a fucking rock. But
You are dad, and you are very busy.
well, I know my role and I shut my mouth, so.
Fair enough. And Tim, we do need this. He said we need all the main event crew at the Vicious Karaoke Party at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have to do this. He does it live every Friday on social media, Tuck.
Oh, shit.
He just gets on there and starts karaokeing. We might have to do that sometime.
Is he bleeding in his profile picture?
He might be. He might bleed for the
It is.
BCC.
Well, he is vicious.
Hey, we do have a pay-per-view coming up. We are going to be talking about that. And I think you created a form for the predictions contest, correct?
Yep, bit.ly/worldsend24. It's a Google form. Head over there. Give us your name. Give us an email so we can contact some coordinates. We send out a sticker, postcard, etc. Something like that. And then also like a content platform that you kind of interact with, so we can kind of reach out to you, and because we acknowledge our champions, we acknowledge our tribal chief, we acknowledge how much better the show is without Ian. Honestly, am I right?
I almost forgot that Ian wasn't here, Todd.
Yikes! Shitting on the young buck, love you, Ian. You know I'm playing.
We do love Ian. Ian is at home with his family, and he's watching the Bears, who are probably going to get their asses kicked by the Seahawks tonight. Talk about a stinker of a game, Tuck. You know, the holidays are over with. You might still be hanging out with your family, but don't worry. We got Chicago Bears football on TV tonight.
Hey, I still watch. It's not about this year. It's about next year. You know,
You say that a lot, don't you?
no, I rarely ever say it. This has probably been the most Bears forward football season for me I've had because of Caleb Williams and the hard knocks. So that kind of put me in a lane. And Eberflus will see him. So
hey, Caleb's been good. I'm just gonna put that on the record.
It's not a Caleb problem. I do not believe.
But hey, if you guys want to hear us talk about that, you won't hear it anywhere else because OTSN is dead and the Main Event Wrestling Network is here. That's an inside joke for the people out there. But hey, let's get into this card. And then afterwards, we could just talk about this year in professional wrestling. But first off, it's a shorter card, Tuck. I don't know if you noticed that. Obviously, kind of tough to build excitement for this show, knowing that a lot of their TV has been taped as of late. So where do you sit on the excitement meter for World's End on Saturday?
3, something like that. Like a convenient excuse to not have to go to a birthday party in Reno. So like I'm excited enough to do that over a Shrek themed birthday party.
Ooh, I don't know. Shrek's kind of dope. I kind of like Shrek.
He is. It's the drive for me, pal. So I'm gonna buy it, and Augie and I are gonna watch it, and it's probably, my excitement is a 3, but it could be an 8, 9, or a 10.
Yeah, I bought the they had like a combo package for the last pay-per-view, whatever that was, so I bought that, so it made this pay-per-view cheaper. So, you know, I'll watch it on the replay, but I will not be watching live, so guys, don't spoil it. Don't be an asshole. And like Vogus said, Shrek is life, Shrek is love. I know that reference, sir. But here, let's get into the card here. AEW Worlds End happening this Saturday. We got the Continental Classic that's been going on, and the semifinals are set. And we believe, and once again, you asked this question earlier, and I'm not 100% sure, you know, still to this very moment, but I believe the semifinals and the finals are happening this Saturday. So let's just dive into these semifinal matches. The first one, this was a match of the year candidate earlier on when Kyle Fletcher faced off against Will Ospreay. They're going to be running it back here at World's End, which is fine by me because, like I said, it was an outstanding match the first time, Tuck. Who do you see, though, walking away victorious with this one? Because obviously the Continental Classic's on the line.
this is interesting. Like you look at the semifinals and you're like, okay, we're getting Ricochet Osprey again, right? Gotta be, right? I don't know. Can Okada lose to Ricochet after Ricochet couldn't beat Darby? Okada's got a title. Osprey's so hot right now, but so is Fletcher. So this is like an actually intriguing piece to me. What do you get if you win the Continental Classic? Are you the
I
number
think you
one
get the
contender?
Continental Championship.
Oh, you get
But
the Continental Championship.
I thought so, but once again, I could be completely wrong. It's hard to follow all the things that are going on in AEW.
Yeah, it's not easy. I agree.
We're not the
In
sickos. We watch, but we're not one of the sickos, as Tony Khan would
correct.
say.
Here's a sister-in-law's got a new friend guy she's hanging out with. He we were at a party. Mia says he watches WWE like the wrestling, and he goes, "Oh, do you watch AEW?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "So do I." But he didn't
Oh,
say he watched WWE. So if he's
interesting.
AEW only, I told her that's kind of a red flag, right?
I mean, you can like whatever you like, but yeah, I mean, you could say that's a red flag for
Just
sure.
shits and gigs. Thought it was funny.
No, I got you, brother. But
I'm
yeah,
going
this
Will
went
Ospreay.
Will Ospreay for the win.
Good, great match. A lot of this could be a good match. The Okada Ricochet could be a good match, and then the final could be a good match. Kind of any way you shake it.
Yeah, and Juggernaut says, I don't understand the hate for Ricochet. To be honest with you, I kind of do. And I know that might be an unpopular opinion, but I think it basically is just off of his promo work and the fact that he is very vocal on social media and acknowledges the trolls. I think it would be probably better if he just ignored everything, Tuck, but it seems that to be now he's just leaning into the heel side of things.
Well, he's kind of being forced to because he's like corny now.
Yeah.
You know
But
what I
it's
mean?
going to work, I think. You might as well lean into it.
That because he's corny and becomes heel. Like I do think the brushback is not against him as a wrestler. It's like how he's conducted himself online, and he's not a super strong promo. But it's easier to be a bad guy, and that gets him away from this. Well, he's a superhero. Wow, dude, Ospreay's never acted like a superhero, and he is pound for pound, step for step, right in stride, along with a number of guys. Like AEW is a very capable wrestling company. Ricochet does not. He doesn't run circles around any of them. So to specifically market him as a superhero, it almost made more sense in WWE with how many massive, strong human dudes they had. So I think he kind of deserves it, but I do think he can benefit from it.
Here's a take going off Ricochet, and I know we're not even on the Ricochet match. We're supposed to be talking about
that'll be next, right? It's kind of a segue.
We're gonna bleed it into both here, but what Ricochet could have been in WWE is what I think Axiom is gonna be once he gets to the main roster. You know, because Axiom actually has developed a character in NXT with Nathan Frazier, and I think that was always the issue with Ricochet in the WWE is he was just like a guy cosplaying a superhero. And then there really wasn't much else to it. But at least in AEW now that he is getting this hate online, you could just lean into it because it seems like AEW does like to lean into more of the realism than the WWE does, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but I think WWE under Triple H has pointed that way too and leveraged social media as well. I think it is. I do think it's clear that AEW is definitely not afraid and almost favors it sometimes. So.
Yeah, and Great Brown Hope, I don't know if this is possible. He said Ricochet should grow out his hair and then change the gimmick again. As somebody that cannot grow out hair anymore, I'm assuming Ricochet can as well. But that's all I got to say to that. Ricochet can get over his...
Like a tight Jerry curl, kind of maybe?
Have you seen the pictures of him with hair back in the day?
I'm Googling it.
He looks a lot better bald. Let's just put it that way. But going back to the first semifinal match, I'm in agreement with Tucky. I think Will Ospreay actually was in the finals last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right? Not ideal. He's better bald, ain't he?
Those aren't even the same people. I did see the one with Triple H where he had the long straight hair. Yeah. There's some other pictures though. Yeah, he probably should stay bald.
For sure. But yeah, I'm going with Will Ospreay to win that semifinals match. Kyle Fletcher got the win last time, so that's my logic behind that. It's just that Will's going to get that win back. And then neither guy is really harmed by it. But then we go over to the other one, Ricochet versus Okada. We talked enough about Ricochet. Okada's an interesting name because we know all the hype behind him. We know what he's accomplished elsewhere. but we really haven't got to see the serious Okada quite yet in AEW. And Tuck, I think this match is the perfect opportunity to pivot away from what Okada has been doing. I say you go back to the match that we were expecting. Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. You know what you're going to get out of that match. It's worked many times before. And then Okada can go off and just be a single star after this. And then Ricochet can just win in a heelish fashion and get even more hate. I think it's a win-win scenario here. So I'm going with Ricochet.
Yeah, the last pay-per-view to round out 2024, heading into 2025, the opportunity to hit the reset button. Okada has not under-delivered. I think he's done the thing they're kind of asking him to do well. I just don't think that's what we expected when he was going to come over here. He had like this Bo Jackson mythical aura about him at that first Forbidden Door as we're kind of introducing the Rainmaker. That's fucking cool. And then he comes over to AEW and it's not
he's saying bitch and flicking people off.
Yeah, which is that's a choice. It's a choice. Yeah. So I'm going Ricochet here as well. And I hope they continue to play, like watching him at Hammerstein and his intro and things like that. It definitely feels like he's aware. You know, he's not the guy getting booed and comes out to the corner and he's like, let's go.
The corny generic babyface wave. Yeah, the hype me up.
Come on. Yeah, he's not doing that. Like, he's aware of it. So I hope they lean into it. Yeah.
That seems to be like just all the basic emotes that you get when you play WWE 2K, just like the shaking of the hands or the fist pump. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Generic babyface number 2. But hey, we're on the same page. So our finals are Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. Who do you think is going to end up being the winner here? I
think it's going to be Ricochet. Because if you don't, Ospreay doesn't need to win a thing to be Will Ospreay, and AEW knows what they have. If Ricochet loses, that's another loss for this dude that people already are acting like they don't like, right? We're spinning it, and I think you and I think we want him to heal it up a little bit. We want to dislike him and disagree with some choices because he's been very vanilla facey, kind of
something
all we've known. Yeah. And you can revisit it because I don't know. I think if Ricochet loses again to Ospreay, or he loses to Okada.
Well, didn't he just beat Ospreay at in Hammerstein? Didn't that happen on Collision or something like that?
I don't know.
I believe so.
I watched Ricochet take on Darby Allin.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Ricochet got a big upset win, so that was the one match.
That was a time limit draw.
Okay, that one
against Darby Allin on Dynamite, like a couple days ago. So that was the most recent match I've seen.
Everybody listening to this right now, that's like an AEW diehards. Like, wow, these guys don't know shit about AEW. We didn't say we were diehards. We're not sickos. All right,
we're talking.
Relax.
We're kind of opening the floor for the comment section to strike hot too. Yeah.
Yeah. Great Brown Hope said chicken shit heel Ricochet could work well. Get him a big goon and 2 bodyguards. Here, you want goons? Go to the Hurt Syndicate. This is the perfect way to capitalize on the already building Ricochet heat. You know what? A way to make people hate Ricochet even more? Put a title on him. Everybody's going to hate that. I think it's a slam dunk decision. Ricochet defeats Will Ospreay. Maybe he joins the Hurt Syndicate. And it's, like we said, just something better than the Ricochet that we've seen over the past decade. Just something
absolutely
different. WWE sucks. Interesting choice of name. Can you guys explain something bothering me of AEW? Why does Jericho show up even though he is ROH champ, but Athena never does? It's actually a great question.
I don't know that we can explain that.
Why? I think the fact that Athena's not on TV is a crime.
That's a crime. I actually hadn't considered Jericho's appearances on AEW as the ROH champ, even though they do mention it and things like that. That's just not great.
That's a funny comment. Brett said anyone named Ricochet is okay in my book. That was actually Brett's rapper name back in the day was Ricochet.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. Hey, Brett wasn't bad. Brett was not
as a rapper, pretty good. Oh wow.
He was solid. He was definitely solid. But
I'm a high school teacher, so I have heard so many SoundCloud rappers terrible, except the one there there's one good SoundCloud rapper right now at where I teach, Young Essence.
Well, free plugs for this guy too.
Oh yeah, YUNG.
You know what? This doesn't surprise me either. Great Brown Hope saying that he used to rap. I bet you he could spit too.
Dude, okay, we're getting Brett, we're getting the Great Brown Hope, we're storming Vicious Karaoke.
Look at that, and we have a kazoo too. We have
Yeah.
a kazoo player.
Yeah,
Tim Vicious got it.
Kazuluist, like crazy.
Juggernaut said, "I don't care about seeing ROH on AEW TV. I want ROH to get a TV deal." I think we can agree with that. Like we've always said, like they'd just be better off having their own day on TV.
Yeah, like a completely different division. You know. A different brand. I was thinking about that as I was running today. Like,
Rampage anymore.
People pay for ROH, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it behind a monthly paywall to watch ROH when you don't really have to pay for AEW?
Right.
You know.
So why would you, unless you're a sicko? You know.
Yeah.
And hey, more power to you if you do. And Brian Vogel said he's going to look him up right now. We'll report back. I can't wait to hear about Young Essence. And
that is the top of our pyramid out here. So
good to know the streets of Tahoe out there running hot.
The mean streets of Carson Valley, baby. It's real.
What's better, Ring of Honor or GCW? We like GCW probably more.
Perfect. If I had to pick to go to one of those shows, I'm going to a GCW show first, and that's even after I thought the Cleveland show stunk.
Yeah. You know what you're going to get from GCW, typically.
Yeah. Ohio was kind of a no blood one, though, right? Like,
the GCW shows when there's no blood or not usually as good.
Well, they're like
their mantra.
They're doing the things, but they're not. The things aren't happening. Yeah,
it's like you got laid, but never mind. I'm not going down that path. Let's go on. We pivoted there real quick. Next match we're going to talk about Kenosuke Takeshita taking on.
That's not it.
Well, that was close enough.
You spelled.
You don't know how to pronounce Takeshita, so I don't want to.
Takeshita. Kenosuke Takeshita.
You're adding another syllable.
Nope.
The G in GCW stands for blood. Yeah, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Brett Haskell, who did go to a GCW show with me and saw that, I'm forgetting his name in GCW, but he was drinking vodka crayons at the bar before the show.
Like somebody from GCW, a wrestler?
Yeah. Murdoch, John Wayne Murdoch, the deathmatch guy, was drinking vodka crayons.
The order of my comments says WWE sucks, said, what's better, ROH or GCW? And the next comment right below it is vodka crayons.
Crayons.
I mean, I'll get behind that too. That's a movement.
Yeah, I'm all right with vodka crayons, but here we go. Takeshita, Powerhouse Hobbs for the title. They believe this has to be the international title. I know there's a lot of them, and they're hard to remember. But yes, that is the international title. Can confirm. Just looked it up. Takeshita versus Powerhouse Hobbs. How do you see this one shaking out?
This one is going to be the meat fest, right? Meat. Takeshita is a strong champion. I think he's benefited from having the gold. And I think Powerhouse Hobbs would also benefit. I'm going to declare Powerhouse Hobbs. I don't have a good reason. I think I just want to see the title flip. And AEW is not afraid to flip titles. They'll do it. And so this is my least confident pick if we were doing confidence. I'm going Powerhouse Hobbs more because I would like to see it, not because Takeshita's been bad. I think he's great.
Takeshita is great. I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the world right now, and I believe he just recently kind of won that title. So I think there just needs to be a few longer reigns with these mid-card titles. It seems like they hot potato them a lot. Mm-hmm. Even though Powerhouse Hobbs with the title would make a lot of sense, it would be a lot of fun. I think we just need to see a little bit more from Takeshita with this Don Callis family and everything. Him holding that title, I think you're going to get a lot of good matches out of him in the future. So let him hold on to it a little bit longer, and then we can move on. I'm not sure who would be that person to take that title from Takeshita. If it is not Powerhouse Hobbs, I guess we'll find out. But if any roster has enough people to take titles off people, it's AEW because they got a lot of talent there. So I'm going with Takeshita to retain. You're going with a new champion, Powerhouse Hobbs, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Got to do something, right? Yeah. That is my question too, Juggernaut. What is the story behind this match? I don't watch Collision all the time, so I might have missed a few things. But Tuck, do you know anything, the story of why this is happening?
A couple weeks ago, he confronted him on Collision and just said, I want a title match. And that's how it got set up. And then he suggested it early December, and then Callis was like, "I'll let you know," and the back and forth of it. But there's no real kind of reason. Hobbs just kind of went up to him and said, "Hey."
Okay. So there's your story, Juggernaut. I didn't know much about it, obviously, but yeah, we'll move on here to an AEW women's title match. It's going to be a street fight between Mariah May and Thunder Rosa. Now, Thunder
Not
Rosa,
just any street fight.
Tijuana. Street fight.
Yeah.
I remembered. Hey, I'm a big Thunder Rosa fan. I think she is great. It's unfortunate she's only on Saturdays because, once again, I don't watch every single Saturday, but she brought a lot of the great memories, at least in the earlier years of AEW in their women's division. Her match with Britt Baker was iconic. It feels like we haven't really got back to where she was then, but still a credible enough contender. I don't see her winning as much as I would like to see her win. I just think there's a lot of heat and steam behind Mariah May still. And it seems like they're also rebuilding Timeless Tony Storm. Not Timeless Tony. Sorry, I'm used to saying that. I know, she's dead. It's just Tony Storm. It seems like that's
the week before I get my Timeless Tony Storm figure from Ringside Collectibles, she decides to not be timeless anymore. Yeah, but you can't remember the era. It was a great time.
Yeah, sounds like AEW booking. Yes, it does, Juggernaut. WWE Sucks says, why is the tag AEW belts not defended, or the AEW belt? All I see is the TNT and Mercedes defend every week. It's a good question about the tag titles, especially since Private Party just won it. And we never even see the actual AEW title on TV because Moxley just carries it in a briefcase, doesn't he?
And the Trios champs haven't defended them in a while.
Yeah, and they're not really getting along either. So I don't know when they're going to get back to that story, because I think Wheeler Yuta, Pac, and Claudio are hurting it, right?
Yeah.
I could be wrong there too. I don't know. There's a lot going on, obviously. But Tim Vicious said, can we really say it's a Tijuana street fight if there isn't a donkey and a line of white powder laying around someone? You know what, Tim? I don't know. And as the Great Brown Hope says, Viva Mexico. That's how I'll answer that one right there. We got a report, though, about Young Essence. If I found the right guy, my expectations were higher than they should have been. You hyped him up too much, Todd.
Thank you. I think Vogus. I think that was the gentlest way to put it. Everyone. Again, you can, even the worst in the world, like in that tier, so someone's better than somebody. So
this is true.
I do like the kid as a human too. I think that plays into it. You kind of hope he does well.
You're rooting for him.
Yeah, we're rooting for him. The essence.
I just got a text from an Alana and Ryan, and I don't know an Alana and Ryan, and they invited me to the wedding. Do I just accept?
Oh, where is it? Let's go.
I don't know. Look at that, though.
Hit the link. It'll tell you.
No, what if it's
Let's
spam?
go. It's not spam.
All right.
Confidence is very little. Yeah, we're engaged. They'd like your address, dude.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're not going to get it.
Is it Ryan? Do you know Ryan? Alana?
I know Ryan Vogus. I know Ryan Gagliardi. But
do you know
any?
You know Alana's, huh?
Oh, that is Gallagher. Oh, so that is legit. Sorry, Gallagher. I forgot. That's on me.
All right, we got to get moving.
I call him Gallagher, not Ryan.
We got to get back to pro wrestling.
Never give up on your dreams. I got to open for Rappin' for Tay, Spice One, and Planet Asia in my city. I don't know who any of those people are, but I'm happy for you, Great Brown Hope. I'm sure you
As am I.
Ask where are they registered? Yeah, we figured it out, guys. Don't worry. And Juggernaut was in. He was going to be my plus one.
We're bringing the OTM squad to the gala.
You're
the
coming
gala.
with. We're all going to the gala.
RSVP for 11, please.
I'll get to that after the show. Don't let me forget about that, by the way. I'm going Mariah May to retain. Sorry. Wrestling.
Is the Tijuana of it all concerning? Are they trying to make you think?
That's what I think they're doing.
Because I'm not Mariah May.
Good job. I agree. Let's move on. We got a couple
Thanks,
more
Kyle.
To talk about. You're welcome, Talk. Mercedes Moné taking on Chris Statlander, part 2. As they had a match of the year candidate on the last pay-per-view. I'm very excited for this one. Might be the match I'm most looking forward to, which once again might be a hot take, but I'm going to go with a surprise upset pick. I think Chris Statlander is going to become the new TBS champion, and And I believe that Camille is going to be the reason that she wins. I think eventually Camille has to come back. We haven't seen her in a couple weeks. We saw that Mercedes, just kind of bitched her out and told her to leave. She left. Well, where's she been? I think this is her opportunity to cost Mercedes that title. Mercedes can move on to a bigger title picture. And Chris Statlander, who has been having great matches all year, can finally get her hands on that title once again, Tuck.
That was my thought too. We did not, the Camille
We're on the
stuff
same page
can't be
today.
done. The Camille stuff, the Camille and Mercedes stuff can't be done.
No.
She didn't bitch slap her. There was nothing. And Camille is a weapon, right? So you would think Camille wants to get her hands on that money. And World's End would be a great place to do it. Mercedes Moné loses the championship to Chris Statlander. Also, this primes it for like a rematch on Dynamite where Statlander wins again. Something maybe too. You got them split. So a TV special. This could be. Do you think they're done after this with each having a win?
That's where I think they're going to have a third, because on the graphic for like the actual match card, it has like the Roman numerals 2.
Oh, yeah.
So that like usually is signifying that there's going to be a third.
Yeah. How many rematches have you seen not labeled 2?
Exactly. Like, we're going to get another one. And I'm not complaining because, like I said, their last match was absolutely incredible. It was my second favorite match on the card. Does
this match meet the bar of the first match, exceed it, or under-deliver?
I think it meets it. I think I'm just tempering expectations because I know usually when you have high expectations, you get let down. So I'm going to say they meet expectations here.
I expect as good or better. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd. Who should win? We don't watch New Japan, so I'm sorry to say I don't know anything about Gabe Kidd to answer that question.
I'm also not informed enough to have a great opinion. Kenny Omega.
Yeah, and we'll just go with Kenny, which it's also kind of weird that Kenny Omega is an AEW superstar and he's making his return. I know he's from New Japan, and so it makes sense to, return there, but wouldn't AEW want arguably their biggest name to debut there?
If that's his return, I would rather have him return at World's End and do a thing. Maybe
he will.
Fuck with like that could be a possibility. Where does he factor into the card a little bit? What he could do a run in. He could, how many times do they hit the music, they walk out, pose, and leave? You're like, oh shit, they're back.
Or
so they could steal. They could
stuff.
steal the pop. They could steal the pop if they want. But if I'm the owner of the company, I would prefer Omega return with me.
I would too. But once again, I understand the history over there. It makes sense for him.
It's a smart business move if Tony's willing. If that is how it plays out, I guess he's trying to maintain that relationship. They like these forbidden doors,
Right, and they got Forbidden Doors in the States? No, it's overseas next year, right? Isn't that the Wembley show? I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I believe Forbidden Doors happening somewhere not in the States because they're doing All In Texas at the Rangers Stadium. So I think that's why they're going international for that. So maybe somebody in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong. Juggernaut said Kenny run in during the Mox match. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Juggernaut. I think that's a possibility. And WWE Sucks says, I can't wait for Samoa Joe to return. I think we're all going to agree with you on that one. And Juggernaut says, yes, it is the Wembley show, Tuck, next year. So Forbidden Door, yeah, happening overseas.
Yes.
That makes sense.
New Japan is, they've got their own Forbidden Door style show January 5th.
Wow. So they go from
it's Wrestle Dynasty.
Yeah. Wrestle Dynasty, Raw debut on Netflix, and then New Year's Evil, back to back to back nights. That's pretty wild.
It's a good way to live.
It's a good way to start.
There's probably an indie on the 4th too.
There's definitely indies. Yeah. Hey, and if you want to know about what indies are going down, check out the Indie Wrestling Guide on X at IW Guide 1, and check out our friends over at the Wrestling Junkies Pod at Junkies Pod. They're always talking indie wrestling on their shows. We got another question. Who is your guys' guy of the year, and who was disappointment in AEW this year? Well, if you go back to our previous episode, our last episode, we did our year-end award show. So you will be able to see who won Guy of the Year, which was Swerve Strickland, by the way.
Well, I was just going to say it was an AEW star and try to kind of lead him back to that episode, but Gax just spoilers. Worse than Fightful? Worse than Fightful. Fightful Liarda.
I've had to mute a lot of people on social media just due to spoilers.
Dude, I pay for Fightful, and I don't know why. Yeah, I pay. It's like because like as soon as I read the email, it's on Twitter. Yeah. The stuff, but there's a lot of pre-shows, post-shows, different podcasts and stuff. So there is content with it.
Maybe one of these days we'll get featured on their website.
Maybe.
Who knows?
We got to break a story.
We've interviewed a similar person, Sean Ross Sapp. He interviewed Missa Kate. We've interviewed Missa Kate.
So we're basically on the markful.
Exactly. So we got 2 more matches to talk about. Let's go through this one quickly. This one's for the Diamond Ring. It's a matchup that we just kind of want to get out of the way because obviously the history between MJF and Adam Cole. We don't need to talk about it, but they're finally linking up here for the Diamond Ring. MJF's won it, I believe, 3 or 4 straight years. Tuck, who wins it this time?
Is it Adam Cole?
Does it make sense for Adam Cole to have a ring to flaunt?
Yeah, doesn't
really fit.
It's MJF. I don't know. I would like to see. I don't know that Cole needs to win the ring, but I do think he needs to beat MJF. I think it does more for Adam Cole than it does for MJF. It's a way to elevate him. Yeah. I don't know that diamond ring might only come into play in MJF related activities where he just wants to punch him in the face. But on the other hand, MJF's a brilliant heel and he puts on great matches. Is MJF underrated as a wrestler? I don't know, because he's so striking on the mic. So I think it's going to be a good match. I'm excited for it. I'm going to go with I'm going with MJF. I can't say Adam Cole with the ring. I think it's a compelling argument, but
it's like betting against the Chiefs if the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl again. You just know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And if that gimmick, the damn ring, didn't make so much sense for MJF, I probably would confidently say Adam Cole's going to win. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to just go with it because it's fun, and I think it's what we want to see. I think Adam Cole needs to one-up MJF here, get a win at World's End, and MJF can still do some heelish shit afterwards. And he's Teflon. I think we've talked about that multiple times. Like, MJF's a guy that can lose and be right in the main event the next week. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Couple more comments. Chiefs Kingdom. Oh no, we got a Chiefs fan in the chat. Maybe I shouldn't have brought him up.
Maybe he's just saying that that's a thing.
Yeah, this is true. Adam Cole, only ring he gets since Britt Baker broke up with him. I didn't even know that.
Oh,
what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear about those rumors.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Poor guy. That is a funnier comment now that I know that information. So that's a good one right there. We got... so, did I even ask who you're picking? Sorry.
MJF?
MJF? Yeah, I did ask. You're going with MJF. I'm going with Adam Cole, baby. We got one more match to talk about for the AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley, the champion, taking on Jay White, Hangman Page, and Orange Cassidy. And Tuck, it kind of gives Four Pillar vibes to me when they tried to do that match. And the match turned out to be okay, but I think also it makes it very predictable. I mean, the Death Riders are basically the focal point of Dynamite every single week. They're running roughshod on every show. It wouldn't make much sense for me to put the title on a Jay White. Hangman Page I could see because there's a lot of juice behind Hangman. He's accomplished a lot this year. And Orange Cassidy I could see as well. Maybe throw him a bone just to thank him for being a workhorse. But man, Jon Moxley's probably going to retain here. They're going to go off and do more Death Rider shit. But the real question is, does Christian Cage cash in his opportunity afterwards, or maybe even during the match, to make it a fatal 5-way? That's something I would keep my eyes on. But I think the safe bet, Tuck, is just to go with Jon Moxley to retain.
Yeah, the fatal 4-way, no rules, right? No DQ. Death Riders can ride about the venue if they will. And I think Hangman would be my second choice in this group of 4. But will be a fun match. I think that, the group of 4 Anybody could win. Moxley doesn't have to get pinned to lose the title. I don't think he'll be pinned. John Moxley retains.
Yeah, I think it's that simple too. I mean, listen, it's going to be a fun match. You have 4 of the best professional wrestlers right now on the planet.
Wouldn't be surprised if at some point you do think somebody else is going to win.
Yeah. I think there should be a spot where every guy has a really close near fall, just to make things interesting. There has to be a surprise, a big moment, a return, and that's why I really think the Christian Cage stuff could happen here, but I also think it's just too soon, because we really don't know the true meaning behind the Death Riders. They really haven't fully addressed that, have they?
And we got time right after this show and when Moxley retains. Maybe.
I guess we'll find out, but I won't be watching live like I said earlier, guys, but if you want to get and be a part of our predictions contest, go on over to bit.ly/worldsend24 or Worlds End, whichever way you read it.
It's the only way I see it,
Same.
Worlds End.
Should we capitalize the E maybe just so mentally? Yeah.
Nope.
All right. Fair
World's
enough.
End.
But yeah, that's the World's End card. So if you guys want to be a part of our predictions, like I said, make sure you fill it out over there. Juggernaut says, I want the Father of the Year to get the title in the turtleneck Christian God. I just butchered that sentence too.
A little bit. Turtleneck God Christian. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be
Turtleneck
right?
Christian God. Oh, yeah.
Maybe he is a Christian, though.
Yeah.
There would be no way of knowing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk religion here, though. I know.
No.
So.
Yeah. We talk about wrestling religiously, but we don't talk about religion.
Every single week, Thursday, live at 7 p.m. Central, sometimes 7:30. But if you follow us at Pot on the Mark, you'll know.
All the updates, and if you subscribe to us on YouTube and hit that bell icon, you'll get notified when we're going live, when videos are posted, when we're up to the things we're doing.
Yeah, and we're only 30 subscribers away, guys. Only 30 away from giving away a signed Rey Mysterio figure. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, and you will have a chance. And there also is other opportunities to gain extra entries. If you go to the OnTheMarkWrestlingPodcast.com, show proof of purchase there, you will gain 5 additional entries for that figure that we will be giving away. But Tuck, I would say we're going to wrap things up, but since Christmas happened yesterday, Santa's got a naughty or nice list. Obviously, OTM, we were on the nice list, but there's some wrestlers out there that probably weren't. So
tons of people in the comments section on the nice list. We're on the good side. We're on the right list, if you will.
So how I want to do this, I'm just gonna think of a random wrestler off the top of my head. But first off, no, let's do it a different way. Change of plans. Give me the number 1 person at the top of the naughty list for 2024. Who is the naughtiest in all of professional wrestling this year?
Ooh, okay. Let me the naughtiest. The naughtiest. Okay, so I was not prepared for this structure. When I think of the word naughty, I think of doing things you should not be doing. Some mischievous things.
Tim did want to know
deeds.
to find naughty, so there you go.
Naughty in a bad way, but still appropriate enough to be put on public television. You know what I'm saying? Naughty, dude. Freaking Dominic Mysterio. Are you kidding me, dude? Like savage mode on Rhea Ripley. Then he's pulling Liv Morgan. He's a wimp. Is he at the top of the naughty list?
He's not at the top of my naughty list.
Devious Deves. Are you putting like Solo Sikoa up there?
Dude, if you burn someone's house down, you are the naughtiest person on the list. Hangman Page, you're at the top of the naughty list. Are you kidding me? Who just burns people's houses down and gets away with it?
Okay. Yeah.
That's arson.
Extremely valid. That was funny.
Yeah. I would definitely put Hangman Page on there. I think MJF definitely should be always on the naughty list, right?
Eternally, yeah.
Will he ever get off the naughty list is the real question.
In his mind, he believes he's the only person on the nice list.
I agree with the Great Brown Hope. He said Eddie Thorpe for faking being attacked. All my homies hate Eddie Thorpe. Are you Eddie Thorpe hater?
Not a hater, but not a liker.
Fair enough. I think the harder question is, who's on the nice list? Cody Rhodes?
So there's so many nice people.
Cody Rhodes is number 1.
When you think of really nice people, think how nice is Otis for defending Maxine Dupree? I don't think so. I don't think so. I disagree.
He probably thinks Kevin Owens is on the nice list then. Maybe he thinks
No.
KO is right.
No, I don't know. KO's been very naughty lately.
Oh, the New Day on the nice list. Great Brown Hope, don't change your tune just because they turned heel, you jabroni. You were hating on them, and now you're going to act like you like
We
them
know
just
what
'cause
you're
they're
up to, GBH.
Yeah, we know your shenanigans. And no, they're on the naughty list.
And this specifically came up in our private chat today. The New Day was weeks away from being on the nice list for an entire decade, bro. 10 years in a row, and they swerved right at the end, bro. You could have been nice for a couple more weeks, dude. Freaking
All right, once again, Great Brown Hope, I'm sure a lot of people called for their heel turn, but I'll give you your credit. You did call this specific one in a blog, which, by the way, you could check out his blogs at mainevent_net on all the socials. He's the #1 blogger at the network. He's the GOAT. He's running the ship, steering the ship.
He's the head of the blogging
driving
table.
The boat. He is the head of the blogging table. So if you are interested in blogging, guys, we got more room for sure.
As long as you acknowledge GBH, we got room for you.
Yeet. I can give that a yeet. Jey Uso definitely on the nice list. I totally agree with this one. Tim says Chelsea Green is on the nice list. I'm not going to disagree with that.
You can't disagree with that.
And
what about Gunther? That's a tough one, right? Nice matches.
Yeah.
Naughty dude. You're mean.
He's on the nice list. He's on the nice list. I'm putting him there.
He's a bad guy.
And the Costco guys, they don't have a list. They just get 5 big boom, 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 boom. I had to.
Bro, that's not even on the outline, dude.
It should be.
How many episodes since I've actually looked at an outline? Over under 69.
I'm gonna take the under.
That's over.
Oh damn. What about CM Punk?
I mean, because our outlines basically are banners, right? Like, do you even do a doc?
I have no docs anymore.
Yeah. See, we're here.
Full
CM
disclosure,
Punk.
since it's the end of the year, we used to kind of map out everything, or I used to map out everything on a Google Doc. Now
we encourage our community to take us in many different directions. One of those directions being CM Punk, naughty, nice.
You know what? Let's take a moment to acknowledge this comment, even though I don't like his name, because we're not a tribalistic podcast. But he has given us some great comments. He said he just subscribed. He loves it. So shout out to WWE Sucks as our latest subscriber, I should say. 29 now away from 400.
Hey, we'll take it. Shout out WWE Sucks.
We don't agree with your name, but hey, we like you commenting. And you can come back next Thursday. We'll be here talking about the Raw debut on Netflix, which is definitely on my nice list. I think that deal itself has got everybody talking right now. We might as well just briefly touch on that.
I want to go, dude.
What are tickets?
0% chance I'm actually going. Like, no, dude.
I think Great Brown Hope's going.
I can't do anything now, dude. Like, Melissa, let me get a truck, bro. I gotta act right for a little bit.
Have you not been acting right?
No, dude. But she did not want a truck, and we now have a truck. So, like, I gotta get some brownie points here. Speaking of brownie points, I think I was on the nice list this year.
What'd you get?
A truck.
Oh. Okay.
No.
I didn't know if there was anything else to it.
Oh no! I also a nice little like sweater jacket thing. It was cool, like a shacket.
Was it WWE brand?
No.
We need OTM jackets like that.
I think we should get OTM Letterman's jackets. Black, yellow sleeves, the OTM high school looking logo.
Yeah,
that would be expensive and irrational for I don't know when I would wear it.
Would I buy the fuck out of it? Absolutely.
I mean, I would love to have one made. Bomber jackets, Main Event Network bomber jackets too. Chalk line on the back. Come on now, that's on the nice list. We got to get our elves to work.
We got our explanation here. I don't hate WWE. He just stopped watching after Taker lost. He left as a fan. He was around when Hogan had cartoons.
Dang.
So he's been watching wrestling
He's a
probably
real
longer
one.
than both of us.
Oh yeah, he's a real one. Oh yeah.
We'll acknowledge that. Yeah, and Tim Vicious said he's in on the main event varsity jacket. We'll workshop that. We got plenty of time. But I do have two final questions for you, Tuck, before we wrap things up. Let's just get one word here. I'm going to give you this sentence. Pro wrestling in 2024 was, and then explain why it's that word.
Okay. Do you have a word picked out? It might be better for you to go first.
Pro wrestling in 2024 was revolutionary.
Ooh.
We took many strides in this industry as a whole. And when I say we, I mean they. Because we're just podcasters that talk about what they do. A lot of things changed this year. A lot of things are still changing this year. Mainly in the WWE, but I think for the better as a whole for professional wrestling. The WWE ID program being one of those things. The development of NXT as a whole. The progression. AEW kind of learning as they go on the fly. I just think a lot of things are changing. A lot of doors are being opening. So 2024 was revolutionary for me.
The first word that popped into my head was dynamic. Pro wrestling in 2024 was dynamic. And in line with kind of on that same avenue is what WWE Sucks is saying. Restructuring the settlement, the foundation of years to come, the TKO deal, the Netflix deal, the WrestleMania press conference, and the Rock feud, and AEW certainly continuing to deliver a good product, but also kind of changing the strategy. And I think I don't know that we would have ever thought we'd have AEW in the Hammerstein Ballroom. So dynamic, interesting. So many good matches, so many good events and shows. Outside of AEW and WWE as well.
And I think this is a good word too, and well said, by the way, Tuck. From Juggernaut, he said groundbreaking, and that it was in 2024. So let's pivot then, knowing what is on the horizon in 2025. Pro wrestling in 2025 will be blank.
Electric. I think AEW's got potentially. You think about it, you've got the Cena return, you've got the Rock of it all, potentially, maybe not currently factored into WrestleMania fans, but probably plans, but probably is. Who knows? Can't believe anything, but you should probably believe everything, kind of thing. AEW switching up the format. They've got the deal with HBO Max. WWE is moving to Netflix, so I think it'll be electric. I think the bar will never be higher. And I think this is going to be an interesting year with all of the changes. Both companies, you got to look at a little bit with a magnifying glass to see how it's going to work out, because WWE is shooting for the moon in some regards, charging $1,000 for WrestleMania tickets in the 400 level. You know what I mean? And AEW is going to kind of implement a new plan, a new strategy, and we'll see. So I think it'll be electric. What did you say?
That's a good answer. It definitely will be. Mine's kind of a lame answer, but I'm just going to say it will be over. And I don't mean like game over. I mean, it'll be over across like mainstream. Just it's going to transcend. It'll be transcending. There we go. It'll be transcending, because I think with the Netflix deal, it's just going to open up so many more eyes to just a casual wrestling fan, maybe to someone like WWE Sucks.
Their eyes.
We haven't heard that one in a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. I think 2025 is going to be absolutely insane.
You'll be in attendance for the Royal Rumble. I might sneak down to Mania, maybe. Unlikely. SummerSlam in New Jersey, going to be there.
We'll be there.
Gags confirmed. Vogus confirmed. Have a few that may be interested as well. So 2 nights SummerSlam. Hopefully those tickets aren't $1,000 a piece, but I am committed to making that happen. So we got 8 months to start saving and putting away. So, and as WWE says, let's not forget indies. Support indies because they are awesome. Absolutely. And without the indies, I don't know that we benefit on our screens weekly as well as we have. And with Juggernaut also mentioning TNA, another company to keep an eye on, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Scott D'Amore from TNA has kind of relaunched and rebranded Maple Leaf Pro. Kylie Ray made a return there. And so booking a lot of companies, great athletes, not necessarily developing their own, but that's another promotion. So we're working.
Well said, Tucky. The Indies, yeah, that's the lifeblood of professional wrestling. And if you missed it earlier, we have two great podcasts with us at the Main Event Wrestling Network that are consistently talking about independent wrestling. So if you want to check out their stuff, you can find that all at mainevent_net. You'll be able to see their accounts over there. We are proud members of the Main Event Wrestling Network. That's why you see that logo in the corner right there. But also you could see, if you're watching live right now, the MVM title is behind us. And we did have a first-time listener this week, Tucky. So why don't you let the listeners know, if they do not, what the MVM title is all about?
Every week we go live and we declare the MVM, the most valuable mark, and that is the commenter in the Royal Rumble Battle Royale of the comment section that not necessarily the most comments. It's not just a volume type thing, but we want quality shots at a high rate. And we had a number of candidates this week, but each week we reward an MVM, and we acknowledge you on our social media as the most valuable mark of the On the Mark Wrestling podcast, proud partner of the Main Event Wrestling Network.
And this is a prestigious title. It has been held by numerous people, some of the greats, including the Great Brown Hope, Ryan Vogus, Dirk Vogus, Kine, Robbie Collins, but I'm not quite sure.
SCW Steve.
Yeah, how
Hot Sauce Bill Moss might have a rocket on his back. There, we have a strong card. I don't think our roster is as big as AEW's, but we only have about an hour each week to fill. You know what I mean? They've got
Ring of Honor.
Yeah, no shit.
Like Ring of Honor, we only got an hour to cover.
Yeah.
And we haven't gone over an hour, so I'm surprised they haven't turned the lights out. But we do have a new MVM of OTM, and it is Mr. Juggernaut in the chat. So clap it up, everybody. It was a highly contested affair this evening. I didn't expect much because it is a holiday week. We're doing things. People are busy, but chat was popping large indeed, Tucky.
Great Brown Hope holding it down. WWE sucks. Running out of nowhere, surprise debut in the chat. These are things you love to see. Tim Vicious is the sniper in the group. He picked his shots on brand, in and out. Robbie Collins with the acknowledgement early, gladly bowing out. Kine was a ghost today, so he's feeling the Christmas blunders, but he is a loyal listener, and I'm sure he will be shouting out. He will be putting a picture on Twitter of a ghost saying he was. So
yeah, let's give Kine his credit. He was the MVM of the year, the very first MVM of the year. I'm sure he's just a little hungover celebrating that from a week ago. But speaking of a week ago, guys, every single year we have the OTMEs, which is our year-end professional wrestling award show. It's a great time. We have numerous categories, multiple nominees, and we even have special guests like our friends in the chat, Tim Vicious, the Great Brown Hope, to name a few, that come on to present the winners of those awards. And we have that available now on our YouTube channel. So just go back to last week. We were live on Thursday. Tuck, what can I say that hasn't already been said? It literally is the biggest show of the year.
It's our biggest voted on show of the 4 that we've done. And the participation was greater than we could have expected. And shout out to Kine first, and the inaugural MVM of the year. And all of those, I think this show kind of gets the ball rolling towards 2025 and the OTMEs. So the road to OTMEs 2025 is about 51 weeks long now.
WWE sucks ass. Will you guys go 3 hours like Raw? We will not.
That would have to be a watch along with Raw. If I don't know. I don't think we could talk for 3 hours. We could. I don't think we could hold 25 viewers us talking for 25 hours.
I don't think
3 hours. 25.
I could talk for 3 hours. I think I'd get a little fatigued. My eyes just wander and look at the chat. But speaking of the chat, once again, guys, appreciate you all for checking us out this year. And I know we say it every year, but it continues to be the trend. This was the best year in our podcast history, and all that is credit to you guys. There's a reason we say for the marks, by the marks, because We rely on you guys, just like you rely on us to give you some, entertaining stuff on a Thursday night. We're just two wrestling fans, not affiliated with any company, and we enjoy all professional wrestling, and we're just going to keep climbing, keep growing, and do some big things in 2025. So once again, thank you for a successful 2024. Don't forget, guys, to fill out your AEW Worlds End predictions. Go to bit.ly/WorldsEnd24. And Tucky, why don't you tell them about all the other good stuff that we have to plug?
What a time it is. OnTheMarkWrestlingPodcast.com. Head over to that website if you are interested in copying some On the Mark Wrestling podcast merch. Is the code still live, Kyle?
No, code is not live. Christmas is over, so now you got to spend the big bucks, people.
Yeah. So it's still
it's not expensive.
You're going to spend 10% more, but that's all coming back to the podcast, helping us keep it going week by week on the MarkWrestlingPodcast.com. You can also, on that website, get some Main Event Wrestling Network merch. And the Main Event Wrestling Network is a collection of podcasters, bloggers, and content creators on YouTube that we do it for the same reason, because we love the game. We love the business. Pro wrestling is something we all enjoy watching. And it's a fun thing to talk about for us, and has, I think, for Kyle and I both, has created a number of cool, fun relationships along the way. So
just think of how many people we know now just because of this podcast.
Yeah,
that we wouldn't have known before.
Absolutely, in a very healthy, positive way, like the people that show up. And we've been fortunate to have created kind of a culture where like only the good kind of hangs out with us, and it's been a good 4 years so far. So heading into 2025, no baby on the horizon as of yet, but we've got baseball coming up, so that's gonna pull me in and out a little bit, and
probably a lot of me and Ian.
Sunday shoots and mixers and things like that, so to keep it in. But excited for us. 2025 is going to be a great year with a great group of people in the chat with us. And we start that off next week, recapping AEW Worlds End. And will that be our preview? That won't be our preview for the Raw Netflix, really.
It will be our preview for Raw on Netflix. Yeah, because the Raw on Netflix will be the following Monday.
Yeah.
Probably won't talk much about Worlds End because, let's be honest, it'll probably be old news 5 days later. But we might just give you our general thoughts on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, so we don't have to recap each match.
But make sure you're following us at Pod on the Mark so you can find out what time we're going to be starting. Probably going to start at 7 o'clock Central once again. You'll find out later next week. So, Tucky, why don't you send us home for the final time in the year 2024?
Ladies and gentlemen, for the 4th year in a row, it is time to say goodbye. Thank you all for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling podcast.